welcome to Learn with Saad. In this video, you are going to learn about indices and index laws. Here we have written laws of indices. The first and the second one I've already covered with you in my previous videos. So I'll just go through it quickly. A to the power m times a to the power n is equals to a m plus n. So whenever we are timing two variables, then we add the powers m plus n. Let me just quickly give you an example for this one. So let's say if you have x4 to the power 4 times x squared. So now the bases are same. A and A is same. And what we do, we write the base as x, and then after that we just add the powers. 4 plus 2 equals to x to the power 6.
Guys, whenever you see bases are same when they are timings with each other, first write the base as big number or letter, then add the powers and write it on top of big number, which is base.
The next one is am divided by an. So this is a division 1. So what we do in the division 1, we subtract the powers. In the multiplication 1, we add the powers. Let me give you one example for the division 1 as well, please. If we take the same one, let's say if we go x to the power 4 divided by x squared. So you see, first one is x to the power 4 is similar to the a to the power m, and x squared is similar to a to the power n. So the bases are same and we are dividing it. So what we need to do, according to the formula, we need to write down the base first, which is x, and then follow the next step, which is subtract the powers. The powers in this case is 4 and 2. We do 4 minus 2 equals to x squared. So when the bases are same and we are multiplying them, we add the powers. When the bases are same and we are dividing them in division, we subtract the powers. I have done almost 2 separate videos on each of these indices law, the first one and the second one. If you struggle with it, please have a look at my previous videos. So the next one is a new one, which is this one, am to the power n indices form. What do? In this one, we write the base as it is, and then we times the power. You're gonna times m with n. So a to the power m, and you go n as the power. So what you need to do, please always remember, you're gonna times m with n. So if we have like 2 to the power 6 squared. So the most important step, please never add them up. Sometimes the students start adding the powers. No, you cannot do that. You cannot add them. Add never, please. Always just multiply the powers. 6 and 2, 2 to the power. So it would be 2 into 6 times 2, 2 to the power 12. Sorry, 2 to the power 12. Yeah. So let's say if you go a square cube. So what you would do, the same thing. It's indices. You got 2 indices. What you're going to do then, after we multiply the powers. So 2 times 3 or 3 times 2, same things. A to the power 2 times 3, which is a to the power 6. So it's very important. Please always remember that whenever you get them, you always times them. Let's now look at the next one, which is this one, a to the power 1 equals to a. That means if you have, let's say, 10 to the power 1, it means I'm gonna write down 10. It's same thing, the base as it is. Like a to the power 1 would be equal to a. The power tells how many times we need to times a with itself. In this case, it's only 1. A times 1 is a. So if you have 4 to the power 1, that would be equal to 4. Please always remember that. But the last one is a to the power 0. That equals to 1. When you have a to the power 0, it will be equal to 1. So let me give you some example. You have 10 to the power 0. That would be equal to 1. Please always remember, whenever you have 0 as a power, 0 as power, always remember that it would be always equal to 1. Even if it's 100 or 1000 to the power 0, means it would be equal to 1. 4 to the power 0 would be equal to 1. In short, whenever you have 0 as power, which we have in this case in all three examples, and in general form they are telling us, which is here, a to the power 0 or anything base to the power 0 will be equal to 1. Now I have explained you all laws of indices so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them in detail. Please make sure you take note of all the key information which I have written down on your notebook, and always show your working when you're doing the question. In the start, the best thing is you write down all these laws, and the best thing is to commit it to your memory so you never forget it. Now I'm going to do exam style question using law of indices we have learned so far, and I'll show you all these 4 exam style questions. The first one, 3ab to the power 3. So what we do in this one, we go indices 1. So what we are going to use this law which I just explained to you. You need to apply this power to all these terms inside the indices or brackets. So please always remember, this power you need to apply to every single term inside the brackets. I'm gonna apply to the 3 to the power 3. I've applied it to the first term. Now second one, a to the power 3, and then the third one, b to the power 3. So as you can see, I have applied this power to all these terms, to 3, a and b. And then after that, we try to simplify it. We now 3 cube is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And then a cube as it is, b cube. We can't simplify it anymore. So that would be our answer for our first question. So easy peasy, if you follow the rules that apply the power to each and every single term. Now I'm going to do the second one. In second one, what we need to do, same thing. We need to apply the power to both numerator and denominator, both numerator and denominator, and to all the terms. So 2 square times x square. So I have applied the power to both numerator, both the terms of the numerator. Now it's the turn for the denominator part. 3 square y square. Same. Then next step, what we will do, we will simplify it. 2 square is 4 and x square is x square over 3 square is 9 and y square. So it's already in simplified form, we can't simplify it anymore. That would be our answer. Question number 3 now. Same thing, apply the power to every single each term inside the brackets. 2 cube b, what will we do? 2 times 3, we always times it, you know it, and then x cube. 2 cube is 2 times 2 times 2, and then b is b to the power 2 times 3 is 6 x cube. Next step, 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8 b6 x cube. That's the answer. We can't simplify it anymore. Last one. And the last one, slightly difficult, but first step, we will apply the power 1 over 3 to 27 1 over 3 m squared 2 times 1 over 3. So the best way to do it is, please always write it in the form the way I am writing it down. 1 over 3 like that. Whenever we do times power with the numerator part. 2 times 1 over 3. Then in next step, that's, please pay full attention. Now in this one, I want to get rid of this 3 part. This 3 in the denominator. So what I can do, I know that 3 cube, which is 3 times 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So I can replace 27, this 27 with 3 cube, because 27 equals to 3 cube. I can replace 27 with 3 cube, and the next step would be the power as it is, m. Now in this one, 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 over 3. Next step, I can cancel 3, this 3 and that 3, which leaves me with 3m 2 over 3. So that's how you're gonna solve this last question. Now you go all these exam style questions from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 up to 16. What you need to do is to apply all the rules, which are laws of indices explained so far on these exam style questions. Please make sure you do every single question. Some questions are difficult, I understand, but if you get stuck, please go back and listen to the instructions which I am giving, and it should be easy peasy for you. Then it will get easy peasy for you. Now the next topic is on negative indices. So far we've been dealing with the positive one. Let's say if you go a to the power minus m, so the rule for negative indices is we write it as 1 over a to the power m. That's also the reciprocal form as well. We call it reciprocal or inverse operation. So reciprocal is basically you write, if it's given as 4 to the power minus 1, the reciprocal or inverse operation of it would be equal to 1 over 4, and the reciprocal or inverse of 1 over 4 would be 4 to the power minus 1. So what we do is we write 1 over the same thing, and when it goes down from the numerator or from the top to bottom, the sign changes. We had minus 1 and now we have 4 positive. So 1 over 4. So a to the power minus m becomes positive a to the power m, 1 over the sign changes. So similarly, if they ask you write down the reciprocal of 1 over 4, so what you do, you just swap it or write it as 4 to the power minus 1. So for next one, so see, 5 to the power minus 2, we're gonna do the same thing, equals to write 1 first and then write the same thing, 5 to the power minus 2, but as positive, as 5 square. The sign changes from negative to positive. Please always remember the sign changes. So if I need to write the same thing, 5 square, the reciprocal of or would be 5 to the power minus 2. So I'm simply gonna write as 5 to the power minus 2. So it goes from denominator to numerator. Next one, 3 to the power minus 3, same thing, write 1 first and then write 3 to the power positive 3. So it changes from minus 3 to plus 3, but you need to write as 1 over. If we have same question like 3 to the power minus 3 and they ask you to write down the reciprocal 1 over 3 to the power 3, and if you they give you 1 over, let's say, 6 square and ask you to write down the reciprocal, what you do is basically write 6 on the top and please change the sign from plus 2 to minus 2. So plus 2 to minus 2. And they can ask you what is the reciprocal of 1 over 6 square. The reciprocal basically means you swap, denominator becomes numerator, numerator becomes denominator, but you change the sign for both numerator and denominator. Next question, 4 times 3 to the power minus 1. So we write 4 as it is, then times the reciprocal of 3 to the power minus 1 would be, we would write 1 first and then 3 positive. Next step, 4 times 1 is 4 and then 3 as denominator would be our answer. Last question. Please need your full attention in the last one. Now we have 2 to the power minus 1 as a power. What we need to do according to the rules of indices, first you apply the power to both the numerator and denominator. Everything inside the power, the rule for the powers is you got to apply the power to every single thing inside the indices, be it a number, alphabet, letter or anything. 2 to the power minus 1, now I am applying the power to this denominator. 3, it would be 3 to the power minus 1. In order to solve it, to make it positive, if we swap a numerator with the denominator, because the reason I'm doing it is this is minus 1, minus 1. I want to make it positive. In order to make it positive, whenever I will move anything from top to bottom or from bottom to top, the sign would change. So in this one, if I write it as 3 over 2, then this minus sign 1 will become positive and the 2 to the power minus 1 will become positive as well. So one another way to do it as well for these one for the method is basically what you do is if you have 2 over 3 minus 1, so what you can do is simply write it as 3 over 2, just, and then plus 1, but you don't need to write plus 1. You can simply swap the numerator and the denominator, but this is a more in detail way of, you apply the powers first to both of them, numerator and denominator, then I know it's negative, you swap numerator to bring it up 3 and 2 down. Now we need to write the following in a to the power minus m form, the one which I was talking earlier. So this is what you need to do for these one. So for the first one, 1 over 5. So for 1 over 5, so now what I need to do is I need to write 5 first, and then 5 is positive here, I need to change the sign to minus 1. The reciprocal, or writing it in a to the power minus m form, is this. You just go to then write minus 1. So 5 positive, 5 to the power minus 1. In this one, if you need to write it in this form, what you see now that x to the power minus 4, if we bring it up to x, bringing it up, and now this minus 4 will change to positive 4. Why? Because whenever you move anything from, it's like this, whenever you try to move anything from top to bottom or from bottom to top, you got to change the sign. Next question, 1 over 4 minus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 4, I'm bringing 4 up, that's why I got to change the sign of the power. Always remember, you need to change the sign of the power whenever you take anything top or at the bottom. So 4 to the power minus 2 will become plus 2, 4 square. Yeah. Now next question, 3 to the power 3 over 5. What I need to do is I need to apply power to both numerator and denominator. So 3 to the power minus 3 over 5 to the power minus 3. Then after that, what you can do, you can bring 5 on the top and 3 down. So if I write 5 cube over 3 cube. Now in this fraction, both numerator and denominator are positive. We know that 3 cube is 27 and 5 cube is 125. That's how you solve it. Next question, 4c minus 2 and c minus 4. For that, what we do, 4 as it is, we now minus 2 of the numerator, then minus of the formula of the, because law of indices, whenever two things are dividing, am divided by an, remember that. What we need to do, we need to subtract the powers. So the first power in this case is minus 2, so I wrote down minus 2. Then after that, please remember, this minus is of this formula, not of this minus 4. So this minus 4, so this is of the formula. You need to write minus after that. That's of the formula. It has got nothing to do with minus 4. After that, now n. For the c, the bases are same. So the next, what is the value of n? N is minus 4. I'm going to write minus 4 in brackets. The reason, because it's going to change the sign. So the next step, 4c base. Now minus 2, this minus and minus, when it will times together, the minus of the formula and the minus of this denominator, minus 4. This minus is of the formula again, and this minus times minus, when they will times with each other, it will become plus. So now I'm going to write it minus 2 minus, and again minus and minus will become plus 4. After that, 4c minus 2 plus 4 is plus 2. I hope I've explained it properly about this change in sign. Please make sure you practice this question, all of them, but especially this question. Do this question multiple times, minimum 2 to 3 times, please, all of them. Don't just move on to the next one. Just do this question couple of times so you get absolutely clear about the signs and how the sign changes. Now, exam style questions again. All of you now you know what to do. 1 to 12 question, please. 1 to 12, please. Yourself, make sure you take note of every single thing on your notebook. The last one in indices is fractional indices. This is one of the most difficult topic in indices questions. So please pay full attention when I'm explaining and doing these questions for you guys. So first is a to the power m, how to represent it. So this is in a fractional form. That's why it's called fractional indices, because the power is in fractional form. A is a base and 1 over m as the power. So what you do, you write down a square root and then a goes in, and then m you write it outside. So for the next question, if you got to do a to the power 1 over 5, so what you need to do, you need to write a inside, and this, the 5 which is in the denominator part, you can write it down outside here. That's how you can represent a to the power 1 over 5 in fractional indices 1. 4 to the power 1 over 8 would be equal to, similarly, 4 inside this denominator part 8, you need to write it outside. I'm going to do the next question, 16, 1 over 4. What you need to do this question, yes, you can do the same rule as well. You can apply the power, which we're going to do, 1 over 4 to the 16. You can write it as 16, 1 over 4. But now, as you guys are moving to the advanced question, what I would suggest is learn a new way to do these questions as well. So these are advanced questions, high grade questions. So what first we would do is, you need to look, when you come across questions like that, just see what is in the denominator. We have 4. So now we need to find a number when we times that number with 4 should give us 16. So I know that 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If I times 2, how many times? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I get 16, because 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8 and 8 times 2 is 16. So now, which is, we know 16, all of that equals to 2 to the power 4. So if I replace 2 to the power 4 with 16, 2 to the power 4, 1 over 4. Then after that, we know the next step, we can cancel. It would be, let me do it like that, 4 times 1 over 4. Please always write it like that. You know that in indices we times the power, so I'm timing the power. I highly recommend you to write exactly the way I'm writing it down. Then 4 and 4, this 4 and 4 is dividing with each other, so we can cancel them. Leaves us with 2 to the power 1, which is 2. So that's how you do these kinds of questions. Next one, 9 3 over 2. For 9 3 over 2, what I told you before, that you need to look at the denominator part. So 2. Now I need to find a number when I times it 2 times should give me 9. So I know that when 3 times 3 is 9, which is also equal to 3 square. Yeah, so 3 square. So I can replace now 9, this 9 with 3 square. 3 square, 3 over 2. Next step, write 3 as it is. Now I'm gonna times the powers, 3 over 2. Then 2 and 2 are dividing with each other. I can cancel them. It leaves with me with 3 cube. And now all of you know 3 cube is 27. So that's how you're gonna do all these questions. Please do the way I'm doing it and show you're working in all the questions the way I am showing it. I don't have to sit any exam. You guys need to sit the exam, so you must show all your working. You can skip this one step, which is okay, but always show the remaining steps. So now I got another question, high level question. You'd be only able to do if you practice my previous question, all these questions 3-4 times. And then when you are confident, then you're going to come up to this question 16. What we need to do in all of these ones, we just need to now apply law of indices. So I'm going to start with this question now. So 16x4. First thing, I'll apply the power to both 16, these two terms. So 16 to the power half x 4 to the power half. Then we have this time sign, 4xy squared over 12x cubed y. I'm gonna come to this part later on. I will try to simplify this part first. I can replace 16 with 4 square. Why I'm doing that? Because I want to get rid of this 2 is telling me. I want to get rid of this 2. So I can write 16 as 4 square. 1 over 2. Then this one. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Or 4 divided by 2 is 2. I can write it x square. Then times 4xy squared 12x cubed y. Next step, I can cancel 2 and 2. It leaves me with 4x squared. Then I have 4xy squared over 12x cubed y. Now I can times this one as well, do the operation like 4x squared. I can times with that, numbers with number. 4 times 4 is, let me take it for heads, 16. 4 and 4 with 16, and then x squared times x would be x cubed, and then y squared over 12x cubed y. Next step, x cube and x cube I can cancel out. This y cancel with y squared, and I can simplify it. 4 times 4 is 16 and 4 times 3 is 12. Next step would be all the remaining things in the numerator. We have 4 in the numerator left. and in the denominator we have 3. 4 over 3 would be our answer. So that's how you do all these questions. This is grade 7 or grade 8 A or A star question, basically for GCSEs. For the students of year 9 and 10, you can also attempt it. All you need to do is apply the rules of and laws of indices which you guys have learned so far with me. The next question we have here is 10 to the power b equals to 1 over 100, and they'll ask you to find the value of b. In order to find the value of the b, first change this 100 to 10 square, please. So 10 to the power b equals to 1 over 10 square. Next step is we need to take 10 to the power square up. To do that, we can write 10, but we need to change the sign of this power 10 to the power positive 2 to the 10 to the power minus 2. After that, when the bases now are same, and what we would do is we will equate just the powers. B equals to minus 2. That's how you find out the value of B.
Please attempt all exam style questions at least 3 to 4 times. Hi guys, my name is and I've been doing tuition with Saad for a few months. By repeating all questions again and again, you will gain a full command over all questions. Please like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon.
Best teacher.
He's the best teacher.
Thank you.